Hey, David R. Hustler here, author and historian of Pursuit of Military Vehicles. I'm here in my garage shop. Behind me is a 1942 WC-51. And we are putting in the transmission. So we have put in a new pressure plate, throttle bearing, other components that go in with the transmission. Spring, shaft. The transmission itself was taken down by me. It checked out, there's no chips, there's no shavings. I cleaned it all out. That's a 45 dated transmission. So we're assuming that that's original. And this has been replaced one other time by either the U.S. Army, or this truck was actually over in the U.K., but it was in the Netherlands first with the Army. We have a dash plaque underneath, and we can probably do a photo of that. It's on the engine block when the engine was rebuilt. I'm going to try to stand this way so you can get a show of the truck. I kind of got it lit up with video lights. It's a beautiful day out here in December. It's almost 55 degrees. So I took advantage of that to try to video this. Get on this side and show a little bit about what's going on down here. We had to put a new brake line on, and we put a new master cylinder. And we have a whole brake line kit that actually we got from, there's two companies. I'm not going to mention their names, but I'll tell you what, they're pretty reputable, and they deal a lot in military vehicles, World War II vintage. I could just say this, that there's one in Iowa and one in Minneapolis. I don't want to get any situations with naming anything, and I didn't get approval or anything like that. I don't want anybody to come back and say, hey, you said this company was the greatest company in the world, and I ordered parts from them, and it's not. Their expectations wasn't as I said, and then I get in trouble, and then they get in trouble. You know how it is. But we're working on 12 years having this WC. We've done a lot of work to this, and like to see it get on the road. I had purchased we're refurbing a Ben-Hur. That's a 45. There's a history to that too. It actually came back from England also, or should I say Europe. I know the individual that brought it back because he has a construction company and they do dredging, and they were hired over there back in the 60s and the early 70s. And he had purchased a bunch of military vehicles and brought military vehicles back on barges. He's an avid collector, and I just want to say he is in Ohio. I've bought several parts from him over the years for this, tires and other small parts that are very hard to come by. A lot of engine work. When I say engine work, I don't want to say I completely tore down the engine. I'm going to scan in here real quick. This engine is pretty much original. I've just done some overhaul, new radiator was put in, new water pump, hoses, wires, plugs, points, cleaned out the carburetor. Really didn't need to rebuild the carburetor. New belt, some wiring. Yeah, the wiring harness looks like it's a little old, but I'll tell you what, it still works. I want to say this was redone in 1998 by the first owner that brought this back from Europe. This truck went to a collector. I have his card. I found it on the truck, and I found it within the paperwork. The other owner, he is from Ohio, and this truck was actually at a museum in Ohio. He volunteered there and ended up purchasing it and having the truck. I'm sorry to say he had no idea how to work on it. We put it in his daughter's garage, and it sat there. So reenacting, where we do German and American GI reenacting World War II. He started talking about it, and a light bulb. I said, "What are you doing with it?" He didn't have an answer. He said, "I have to get it out of there. If you'd like to come over and see it." So that's how I ended up with it. I went over and looked at it, and we made a deal. And it was the deal of the century for me, because I've been looking for one of these for quite a while. Not too much repair. I am a DIY mechanic kind of guy. And I learned a lot of stuff from my father. He was a master mechanic. My father was in the Navy, and he worked on boilers. And he was in the boiler room, and he just, I mean, throughout his family, most of them were mechanics, aircraft and ship mechanics. And that's a story within itself also. My father ran 4 gas stations. First one was an Esso station, and that was in Westview, PA. That was back in 1958. That was his own gas station. He had that from 58, 59, and 60 when he got hired by Boron Oil. Now, Boron's not in business anymore, but he owned, or ran, I don't want to say owned. He was a trainer manager for Boron Oil, and he trained managers to manage boron stations in the North Hills. So he had the one on McKnight Road first, and then in the North Hills, Allegheny County, PA. Then he went from that gas station to the gas station in Butler Street in Lawrenceville in the city, and ran that one. In the meantime, between those two, he had ran the Swan Acres boron and trained a manager for that one, and then that manager bellied up, and then he ended up being a manager of that one also at the same time, until he could find someone to run that station. Then he went from there to the gas station out in Hampton, and then ran that one. And these were all mechanical repair garages where, you know, you just didn't have gasoline. You could get your car inspected. Pennsylvania laws back then, you had to get your car inspected every 6 months, every year, and you know, now it's once a year. But back then, they had 1, 2, 3, 4 stickers, different stickers on vehicles, and they were constantly being inspected. They had some strange laws for vehicles on the road. But anyway, on this side, this is our 1944 Willys that we have redone. This is all roadworthy, ready to go. We use it for reenacting. I like to spin that around and do this side. Me and my son had done all the work to this. This needed a lot. We got it in a really bad condition. I had done a pursuit of military vehicles on our CCKW 1942 GMC that we picked up in Venango County, and we got that running, and we redid that and got it roadworthy also. And in the meantime, I was back and forth with another collector from Slippery Rock, PA. I was there helping him do some stuff and looking around, and possibly buying some small stuff from him for our shop, and so on and so forth. And he had told me, "Hey, I hear you have a CCKW that you redid." And I'm like, wow, I was intrigued that the word got out that I had done that through our group, First Frontier Mechanized Cavalry. And I said, yeah, you know, I got some pictures on my phone. So I had shown him some pictures. He he liked it, and he said, "Hey, I'll make a deal with you. I got another vehicle that you haven't seen here, and I've been at his house 4 or 5 times already, and I'm the one he was talking about." So he took me up to the house, where he has 2 pole barns full of military vehicles and his classic cars and other things that he works on. So he took me up to the garage, and in the garage was this Jeep, and it didn't look like this. The Jeep was, I don't know why, they were trying to make a CJ2 out of a 1944 Willys Jeep. That's like trying to make a Corvette out of a DeSoto, as far as I'm concerned. There was a lot of parts missing. He had bought several parts for it, and he just got tired of working on it. He has like 4 or 5 projects going on. He's a Vietnam vet, and he's in mid-70s, and we made the deal. Got the truck shipped up there by a trucking company. My guy that I have, he transported it with truck and trailer down to our residence here, where we work on our vehicles here in my shop garage. Not to throw the camera around, but let me just pan around. I know it's dark, but we have enough equipment in our garage to do just about any vehicle maintenance, and we love it. Getting back to the Ben-Hur. The Ben-Hur I picked up from one of the guys I wanted to get out of the hobby, and I got a steal on that. It was about 80% redone, and it was meant to haul a generator. So I have to do some restoration work to the bed. There's some holes in it where the muffler, and I believe there was an extra fuel tank that they had, and there was a few holes in the bottom of the bed of the trailer. The Ben-Hur is a pretty heavy-duty trailer. They were mass-produced by several companies. This one was Quartermaster, and through that Quartermaster was Ben-Hur company. I have the little plaque on the front that says Quartermaster Ben-Hur, and the date and the serial numbers and everything on there. And I haven't put that on yet because we need to, the Keller's wrong. It's almost like a Vietnam Keller. It's not a World War II. I don't know exactly what he was going to do with it, but the other guy got it from the First Renter Mechanized Cavalry. Got out of the hobby, and he had a command car, and he had sold that, and he had put it out on the website that he had a command car and a trailer for sale, and nobody wanted the Ben-Hur, which I don't understand why, but it does need, it's not complete. It needs to be restored, and it needs the sides put on. It needs canvas. What was intriguing was the front, the V channel to the pintle hookup wasn't complete. There was no safety chains, so I had to take it all apart, weld a bracket on, and cut holes for the safety chains, and I had to try to find safety chains. Now, what else is rare for this? I'll show you. It took me a little while to get was this. This is a pin for the tailgate, but I couldn't find pins, and the chain was welded onto the back of the trailer. So you know what happened with those. Once they weld or rusted off, they fell off. And if you didn't have the pin in the tailgate itself, you would lose the pin. So trying to find those were amazing. I had found 2 different places. I looked all over the United States for pins, and somebody had them, and I just happened to, when I was ordering parts, asking, "Hey, do you happen to have the tailgate pins for the Ben-Hur trailer?" And they're like, "Yeah, I have one." And the other one was, he had 2, but he had to check back with me because he hasn't seen him for so long in his warehouse that he had to go back and look for him, because he said, "Man, these are rare." I said, "Yeah, I paid over $100 for 1 pin." You either buy it or you don't. I mean, somebody else will buy it. You need it, you have to get it. This stuff isn't cheap. This hobby of ours. It used to be fun. Now it's getting to the point where these are getting so rare, parts are drying up for these vehicles. And if we have caretakers don't take care of them, then, you know, I don't know who's going to take care of them. They're just going to sit out in the field and rust, you know, and that hurt me. Any vehicle, I hate any vehicles that are sitting around and they're just sitting there rusting without anybody doing anything with it. You don't want it, donate it, put an advertisement out. Somebody will want it. They either part it or sell it. Get it out there. Get it back out there. Someone wants this stuff. Money is always someone's issues. There's always issues with, not having enough money. I mean, it's taken me years to get stuff done because I didn't have enough money because of other things that come up. That's everyday life. There's nothing you can do about it. Anyway, moving right along, we have 4 military vehicles right now. I had just gotten rid of an M100. I probably could show you some pictures of that. We got rid of our World War II B&W motorcycle with sidecar. That was a while back. And we're now just sticking to American equipment, which I think is a little bit easier to find parts. All depends on what kind of parts you need. But a lot of stuff's sitting on off of containers because of the pandemic. But I don't know. I think there's other issues. I just can't believe much of this stuff is made in other countries. And we have to depend on them for that. And nothing's made here in the United States. It just doesn't make any sense. So I guess that's business, But I'm going to let you go, and good talking to you. And I hope that you check out my program and, just subscribe to Pursuit of Military Vehicles. I'll talk again with you, and we'll go over some other stuff. I haven't been on for quite a while. We had just posted the reenactment from New Oxford from 2017, and we also put on the last reenactment for Carpenter's Battery at 2019 at Gettysburg, and those are both posted on YouTube, so you can check those out. So hey, David R. Hustler here with Pursuit of Military Vehicles. Have a good one.